What's up YouTube? This is Victor on the Let Me Explain show, and today I'd like to talk about herbs. I've been on a herbal journey for close to 3 years now, and in those 3 years I've documented the herbs I've been taking, I've documented the sources of the herbs, and also the effects the herbs have had on me. And the purpose of this video is to go into some detail about how I feel about my herbal journey, but also the insights and changes that I've gone through during this journey. Why I chose to do that is because I've realized that herbs are not a quick fix solution. I realized that within the first year of taking herbs, and that we are kind of stuck in this idea of having things done quickly, having things happen quickly, and resolving issues quickly. So that also came through because I've had a lot of questions which I've diligently answered over YouTube about what herbs people should take, what's the effect of the herbs, where to get them. Now, all these things are somehow subjective. In other words, they're personal because it depends on where you are, where your environment does affect your health. I did cover this in a previous video, but I'd just like to make it as part of this update. So where you live obviously affects how you function. Now, environmentally, I'm talking about the physical environment. We're talking about, is it warm, is it cold, is it humid, what type of environment are you living in? But also, is it industrial, is it urban, is it rural? All those factors come into play as to how your body reacts to that. But we're also talking about your social environment. Are you in an environment that's supportive to your health, your mental health, which ties into your stress levels, which also affects your body functions, how healthy your body is physically? So that's another factor. And it dawned on me that one thing we hardly talk about when we talk about diet is some of these things that I've mentioned, like environments. And it's crucial for us to see the holistic picture, the whole picture, the gestalt, rather than think that if I take this one herb, my life will change. It could change to a degree, but to attain optimal results, you will need to work on several areas of your life. Now, I don't want to make this sound prescriptive by saying you will need. Please picture this as me talking to myself. So the you is me in this case. It's not you. I would hate to address you because I don't know who you are. I can't address you because you can only address you. I hope that makes sense. But it just made me realize how interconnected things are. I knew that, but the realization, the bringing into reality of that fact made me pause on making videos about herbs, because I don't want to give the message, to put the message out there that it's an easy journey, it's a quick fix, or it works for everybody. There is no one size fits all when it comes to herbs. Now, one person may react in one way to a herb that another person won't react to at all. So that also depends on your body type, your body makeup, your body chemistry. All those factors come into play. And so I had to be very careful and just pull back and see how I would approach this without without misinforming people about what I'm talking about. Now, how I'm going to do this, I'm working on a totally separate channel, which is going to be called Infinite I. So the infinite intelligence, that's the intelligence around us. We're part of that. The I is the unknown. So there's a lot that we don't know. There's a lot that we are a part of, but still are not fully aware of. So as you might tell already, this is going to be a channel that explores the spiritual side of things, the mental side of things, the physical side of things, and the environmental side of things. So I'll be putting all these things together and talking about herbs in the same framework. I've already got a couple of videos coming up, and I'll let you guys know when the channel is live. That I break down daily herbs that we don't even think about. I break down old remedies that worked for our for those that came before us, and so it's hard for me to ignore a message or not to answer a message from somebody who's suffering from an eye infection, but it looks like the infection is so far gone that the herbal treatment like eye bright might not be able to help them. You know, it's really a sad state of affairs, because this requires a consultation, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a herbalist, but I know a couple of things about these things, like your diet will really impact how the herbs work. Your diet will also impact the outcome of your physical being. So for me to have to answer such questions over YouTube is a bit tricky. Hence the new channel, which will be linked to a website. And within the website, I have resources with herbalists. I'm making a connection with a doctor, so that we have a platform where people can address their health needs, but in a holistic manner, with people who take that approach and are on the same wavelength. So if there's a takeaway in this video, is that herbs are not a one size fits all. They're not for they don't work in the same way for everybody. Thirdly, it's a journey. You cannot not to contradict myself. It's not a quick fix solution, but also it's a journey, in that there's a lot of learning that goes on when you start a journey with herbs, because you cannot deny the spiritual aspect of our being when you fully interact with the herbal world. Because questions like, where did this infinite differentiation come from? You know, why is one herb different from the next? And why does it have different effects? And when you combine two herbs, why do they have a different effect than using one herb? Why does the food you eat impact the way the herbs work? So I began to ask a lot of questions about how life is structured and how it functions. Why is it that when I'm in a bad mood, my digestive system suffers? You know, so they've got to be herbs that will help me relax mentally and be in a space to be able to absorb, to take in. It could be information. If you're in a bad mood, you're not very receptive mentally, and also you physically, your body could get in a space where it doesn't absorb food. You know, depressed people hardly eat, or some depressed people overeat. So it totally flips the status of your being. So for those interested in herbs, for those wanting a change in their lives, did I see a change in my life? I certainly did. I certainly did. It made me question what I'm putting into my body and what it's doing. Because trust me, everything you put into your body will have an effect, right? Every action has a reaction, and those effects might not be working for your good. And so therefore, I started eliminating things that weren't working for me, but working against me. Take, for example, in the medical world, it's said that you need to sleep for 8 hours. And if you look into the Eastern worlds and other cultures that are not Western, that idea is kind of like ridiculous. You don't need to sleep for 8 hours. 4 to 5 hours usually is enough for you to sleep. Now, there's a direct correlation between sleep and the type of food you eat. When I turn to more herbs and more greens and cut out meat, so here's my thing. I don't like the label of vegetarian or vegan. I'll eat what I like when I like, but I make sure to make a note of the impact it has on me. I don't like meat, so that's just out of the question. I don't like the idea of taking a life to sustain me when I can get my sustenance from elsewhere. But that's purely personal, it's purely subjective. I don't object to other people having different points of view. That's you, this is my point of view. But if meat products take a longer time for the body to process, what do you think the body needs for it to focus on that food, process it? Sleep. When you're sleeping, the body is doing what it's doing. It's getting rid of the junk. It's um, taking in the nutrients. You know, it's cleaning up the brain. Your brain does not clean up if you're not sleeping. So it's doing all that. But if you're on a heavy diet that doesn't get absorbed quickly, like a plant-based diet, then your body needs more time to process all that. So all these things I learned when I started my herbal journey. I also came across the book Mucusless Diet by uh, Dr. Arnold Ehret, and it's an old book, but the information in there really shifted my paradigm as to what food is. What is vitality? What is uh, just having energy is not vitality. And the difference there is that happiness is for me is triggered from external sources and things that make you happy. Joy is generated from within. It doesn't matter what situation you are in, you've got a joyful spring coming forth from within. And so when I got on my herbal journey, it reminded me of my youth. It reminded me of how it felt like to spring out of bed, to be alert in the morning, to want to do stuff, to find joy in doing stuff, and not to have that heaviness and that cloud on my mind. So it then became my quest to really fine tune my eating habits and find out more about herbs and do things that align with what I want out of life, which is to be joyful, to be happy, to feel fulfilled. And so it became more than just about herbs. It became more than just about health. It became a spiritual journey. And that's why I put this video together to say that the reason I haven't done any herbal videos is because I had to take a step back and see how to present this powerful material in a proper manner that does it justice. But nonetheless, I will drop videos, herbal videos here and there. My old videos will still be on the Let Me Explain show, but like I said, I will be moving new material onto a new channel, and I hope you guys will come through and support the channel when it's up and live. So this has been Victor on the Let Me Explain show, and before I go, I just want to thank everybody who's commented on this channel, watched the video, posted a like, because this channel since 2013 has finally crossed the 1 million view mark, and that's all thanks to you guys who've been supporting the channel and watching it. And I really appreciate it, because it gives me a lot of joy to hear somebody say, oh, I've saved money from watching your how to unsubscribe from an app video. I've got like 150 messages on that video alone, and that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to do on this channel, and that's why I've kept it broad and open, so that I could give insights where I think I could solve a problem. But that couldn't happen without viewers like you. So thank you. Have a good one.